took them apart with that.
Yeah, I think that's our goal. Our third quarter hasn't always been the best, and I think coming out after halftime and just giving as much pressure as we can, getting deflections, just doing those little things that Mike has been talking about all season long, it really paid off today.
Hi, ladies. Brendan Potts, World Exposure Report. Ryan, can you just talk about the leadership of Lainey Spear? She had 16 points today. Can you just talk about her leadership and how she helped you guys come out of a close first half and then kind of seal the deal in the second half?
Lainey's just a really big energy player. I think she's always got a good attitude and is really trying to lift people up around her. And not only that, but she's really skilled and she's always going to be working hard. And I think it's just leadership in the way, like, leading by doing. Like, she's always going hard and people around her can see that. And it's a inspiration in a lot of ways.
Ryan, just what was key to the 12-0 run there in the third quarter?
I think a lot of it's defense. We try to let our defense fuel our offense, and then beyond that, just sharing the ball and playing as a team. I think you'll see it doesn't come from one player ever. If you look at our box scores game in and game out, it's super spread, and I think that just playing together.
And Deanne, obviously you didn't play the last time you guys faced Oregon State, but what has that series meant? Obviously you guys have been competitive each of these past couple of seasons, splitting with them, and what is this next opportunity to play them now mean for you?
I think every game we go is just 1-0. We kind of focus on ourselves, and the competitor is the competitor. I think, like we've said throughout this interview, it's kind of just defense. Like, we really pride ourselves in our defense, and our offense comes from it. So we just try to go 1-0 every game.
Deanne, do you feel like a different team than the beginning of the year, and how far do you think you guys can take this?
Mm-hmm. I think, we have a very new team, very fresh faces kind of thing, and I think we're just building every day, practice in and out. Like, we just get better every day and just focus on ourselves, yeah.
And how far do you think you can go in this tournament?
Hopefully all the way. That's the end goal for everyone, isn't it?
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, student athletes, you're free to go. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have questions for the head coach. A reminder for those on Zoom to use the raise hand function. You can be unmuted. We'll go ahead.
Mike, I kind of alluded to this to your players. You guys have been very successful at this tournament. Does it feel like with this team that was so young at the start of the year that you're sort of getting where you want to be, and do you see good things ahead?
Yeah, this team's just been incredible. I feel like we're the growth and where we started, and I think when you have 5 senior starters that didn't miss a game last year, it leads to a lot of new things. But on top of it, we have players like Deanne that didn't play in the tournament last year. Flo is a 4th-year player. This is the first time she's ever stepped on this court in the playoffs, and so we're just a really brand new team. And we obviously have some amazing rim protection that isn't able to play in this tournament. So if you watched our team, just the growth, and then we had injury and growth and injury, and so we've had to improvise and kind of be a new team 3 different times. But we've got a bunch of competitors that want to do well and want to really, people ask about other teams. We don't worry about our opponents. Like, we worry about being the best version of ourselves, and other teams want to worry about us. That's fine, but that's really not what we do. We just focus on what we can control, and I think this team is just improved by the day in becoming better at the things that we can control.
Was your pressure defense in the third quarter sort of what you ideally envisioned?
Well, we really felt, we have so much respect for Washington State as a team, and we're not surprised that they were able to make it this point. I think they're a team that, could go on even further, and but we felt like that was something that we obviously didn't have as much size as we normally would have, so we felt like we had to use our team speed a little bit more. And maybe on top of it, just the fact that it was the 3rd game in 3 days, and try to take advantage of that a little bit. And, I think it played off in our favor, but it's also kind of who we are. I feel like that's the identity of our team and program, and, our players love playing this way. And they, this team has been so fun to watch them grow where they were from the start of the season to where they are now.
Hey, Coach. Deanne Ananiev had 6 stocks. 3 steals, 3 blocks. The 3 blocks were in the first half. Can you talk about how she kind of set the tone for the defense as a whole heading into the second half?
Yeah, I feel like, we're going into this tournament without a first-team All-League player and, finishing the top 5. And I just think D is about as complete as you can find. And, we might not have anybody that scores 16 or 17 a game because we focus on the collective unit and also our defensive ability. And to me, you talk about Ryan and Deani and Laney and Flo's improved. That like just how many players that we have that do so many great things defensively. I think Laney's one of the top 2 in the league in steals as well. So, she the thing is she does an awesome job on both sides of the ball. She can not only score it and shoot it, but her impact defensively is there every night, and I think it's why we've been so competitive.
And that defensive pressure showed up more in the second half. Was that more of a strategic plan, or was that more working with the flow of the game?
Oh, it's kind of who we are. I mean, I feel like there's some games maybe that we play a little more aggressive than others. Tomorrow's a new night, so I have no idea. We haven't really talked about what we're going to do, and but I do think that that's kind of our identity, and I felt like we really wanted that to be our identity tonight. Is just knowing that we were going to have trouble with their size and physicality in the half court, and try to make it a little bit more of a full court game. And at times when we got it going that way, I thought it really played in our favor.
Mike, what's the key to 15 offensive rebounds, but only 11 second chance points allowed? And you talk about without rim protection. I realize some of those are long misses off threes, but still 15 offensive rebounds and they don't convert. What's the key to stopping that?
Well, one key would be moving forward is that we give less offensive rebounds up. So that's going to be but I do think, even without, obviously Julia was leading the nation in block shots before she got hurt, and Jada was doing phenomenal as well, and 2 really elite shot blockers. But we have other length besides that, and so I think that's something that has really helped. And, it would be nice if we didn't have to stop as many of those second chance opportunities. I think that's something that we've been trying to work on all season long, but I do think we have a team full of really good defenders, and I think that's kind of the trademark of our program and team, and this team has just really grown in a lot of areas, but that's definitely one of them.
What has it been about the Oregon State series these last 2 seasons that has just been that competitive, that even, that back and forth, and what are your initial thoughts of facing them again tomorrow?
I just think, they're like Washington State and Oregon State, and I think 1 through 8, our league is so good that I think if you look at our record, we played them tight, but we've also played a lot of other teams. We don't really look at anything other than ourselves, and there's games that we feel like we played well against them. There's games that we feel like we need to improve, and we just kind of stick to what we can control. And we know that they're a really good team. We know they have several all-league players and all defensive players and things that make them a very competitive. They're picked to win our league this year, so we know what a great team and program they are, and we know we have our work cut out, and we're just happy right now that we've gotten by this first really good team, and probably in about 15 minutes we'll start focusing on the next opponent.
What is it about the defensive matchup of these teams, though, that because stylistically you're quite different? And as a whole, like you bring things out of them defensively that really isn't that characteristic. They like to sit in zone. They don't like to commit a lot of fouls, but they get dragged into a more physical style by you guys, and that's kind of what you do. What is it about the defensive style?
I think just their size and physicality. I think when you talk about Washington State and Oregon State coming from the Pac-12, they just come with so much size and physicality, and obviously they have 6'8", 6'5". They're just a really big lineup, and we were hoping to match that a little bit more this year. And with Trista last year, we were able to match it until she got in foul trouble, and so we know that they're a really good team that really does some great things, execution-wise, and we know we have our work cut out. But again, I'm way more worried about just us trying to do our things and way less about anybody we play this tournament. We know every team we play, absolutely all the way down the line, is going to be a really good team that you have to show up to play. And I thought our team did a great job showing up tonight, and we know we're going to have to do the same every game moving forward.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Welcome to the second session of Game 5 of the Credit Union 1 West Coast Conference Women's Basketball Championship. We have head coach Kami Etheridge with student athletes Eleanor Villa and Charlotte Abraham. We will begin with an opening statement from the coach.
Well, I just want to say congrats to Portland. I think they do an unbelievable job. They have just had our number a little bit this year and a little bit last year. It's kind of the same script every game, just the third quarter, they amp it up a little bit on the pressing side of it, and our ball handling and decision-making really let us down in the start of the second half. Thought we handled it so well in the first half, thought we were so prepared, I thought we had advantages to get the ball and break their press and kind of make them pay for being so aggressive, and we just couldn't quite make the plays that we needed to not let that separation happen. But congrats to them. They're obviously a team that I think is really well built, and obviously they can have a lot of success in this tournament.
Just a reminder for those on Zoom, just use the raise hand function and we will call on you. We'll go ahead and start with questions for student athletes.
Hi, ladies. For Shasha, your shot kind of fell in the previous game. How did your confidence kind of carry over into the first half of this contest today?
I think my confidence comes from practices and knowing that I can make shot, and even if I miss one shot, I will keep shooting because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm practicing for every day. So I just try to keep my confidence and shoot the shots that are open and that I should take.
Ellie, Jeff Ferrado with the West Coast Conference. It was a 3-point game at halftime. I'm wondering, do you think you guys got fatigued with the third game in 3 days, or what about their press suddenly started to affect you guys?
Well, I would say that it was kind of both. Like after 3 games in a row, you feel the fatigue, but I think that Portland does a good job in pressing and be aggressive. So I think that at some point we should have taken care of the ball better, and we didn't. But yeah, I would say that it was also the fatigue, and yeah.
For either of you, obviously a season that had its ups and downs, but do you take some solace in the fact you finished on a 4-game winning streak up until today? You kind of made those strides late in the season. Is that maybe what you'll look back on in the season, or is it a mixture of that and kind of figuring out a way to get that 4-game winning streak and get going earlier, so we're sitting here talking about 18, 19 wins and not 9?
Can you say it again? Sorry.
You guys obviously ended the season on a 4-game winning streak up until today. Is that something you take some solace in or some pride in the sense of balancing that with the fact that it was an up and down season leading up until that?
Yeah, Coach said it in the locker room. Like I feel that everyone wanna remember the feeling of having a season like this to not like doing it again. But I think that having like a streak of 4 games winning in a row, it's a good feeling, and we want to have that like next season, and we are gonna come like stronger from this season and just build a new team and just improve and get better.
Any other questions for the student athletes? All right, student athletes, you're free to go. Thank you. Question for the head coach.
Coach, obviously, in today's day and age of college basketball, the season ends, but it doesn't really end. You obviously move on to the next stage of coaching. When you kind of look at this nucleus, you only graduate 2 players. I mean, how much is there a confidence on what you're going to be able to bring back, and then what this team can do if you can bring everybody back?
Zero confidence. I've liked this team so much, and obviously have really great relationships with our players and work really hard to gain their trust and to build trust and to have a situation where we can talk out their situations and do that all year long. So, but I think every player's in a different spot, and it's very important that we retain the core group. I hope everybody, but in this day and age, I never know what's going to happen, and I never know what's happening right now that I don't know about. I feel like there are many people talking to players illegally and doing some things or And so I don't think I know the fullness of that, but I know it's out there. And so, but again, I got to trust that we're doing the right things. We have a great culture. I think these players love playing for one another and playing at Washington State. We got to add some pieces to a really good core group, a good young core group. And, I think we've done that with 2 players we've signed, and we are just getting started with that. So we'll add some, I think, bigger and better pieces that can really complement this group that we have right now.
9 wins, obviously. I know not what you're aiming for at the start of the season, but I think one thing that stands out, especially in a game like today, is final minutes, games kind of decided. The team obviously is still bought in. They're still playing hard. They're still celebrating their teammates. You talked all season about how much this team loves playing with one another. Is that kind of, almost just drive home that point even further, even on a game where you can kind of sense that it's going to be the end of the season and you still see, everyone you have on the floor is still playing with everything they have left?
Yeah, I think we have really competitive players, and they really want to win. We just don't probably have just a dog mentality. We don't have that loud. I always go back to Crystal Ledger Walker, even more before than Charlize. Or even Ula, who wasn't a perfect leader, but she was loud and could get people in the right places. Just that demanding personality, and we don't quite have that. We're really nice players, we're really nice people, and they love being around each other. And they're very comforting to one another when things go bad. And sometimes you just need someone that's not so comforting, and just continuing to raise that standard. And some of that's personality. I don't want LA to feel like she has to be that. That's not. But she provides everything we need from her. We've got to surround her with a little bit more support, and and I think we can do that. It's just, but it has been amazing. This group has played hard. This group has bought in. I think we have a group that really, a lot of players can get a lot better. We clearly need to continue to get better shooting. I thought shot making tonight they made shots, they made us pay. We had open shots and we didn't make them. And that was kind of the story of our year, where we would have a bad quarter, and it just separated us from being able to win a game. So we got to get more weapons that can make sure that we are more consistent in the future.
Cammy, on one hand, you get 15 offensive rebounds, but it only gets to 11 second chance points. Just what was the challenge in converting those opportunities?
We kind of have a rule in our gym from Jim Foster, where it's either a layup or it's a 3. And so when people take 8-foot shots off an offensive rebound, those weird ones, they don't get fouled, they don't make it. To us, that's almost like a turnover. And we did that. We took some. Yes, we should be able to make bunnies, but if you're going to take that shot, you better get fouled and you better make it. And then we turned it over. We got some offensive rebounds and didn't handle ourselves getting the ball out and getting a better shot. So that's been a little bit of our thing this year. Just haven't converted in key moments and our ability to make those plays. I think the other thing that just crushed us was Trans D. We'd score a basket and they would run it up our throats and we wouldn't match up. And it's been something that's been a struggle all year too. I thought we had a lot of that figured out in the last couple of games, but Portland plays at a great pace, and they made us pay with Trans D and getting some easy baskets from us.
Any other questions for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
Thanks. Go Cougs.